Richard Branson flew to the edge of space, leading his mission, space travel and tourism. Jeff Bezos even flew further, crossing Kármán line. Although Elon Musk has not announced his personal plan to travel up there, his venture have max footprints in the space already in terms of launches through his SpaceX and his plan of Starlink group of satellites. Why these billionaires are so excited about space? Lucrative future market. After all, we live in satellites dependent digital world. The desire to explore the universe is an old one in mankind's history. Today, space exploration is an indispensable part of many countries' strategic planning. The question that we are addressing in this video is, are we overdoing it? Are there side effects to it? It was 4th of October 1957 when first man-made Earth satellite Sputnik was launched. It was then USSR who took the lead and achieved this incredible feat. The world scientific community took notice, and the Cold War rival USA certainly wanted to be one up and prove a point. In a famous public speech, President Kennedy challenged NASA to land a human on moon and return back safely before the turn of decade.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Kennedy did not live to see this, but America did achieve the milestone. The space race had begun. Countries increased their budget allocation towards space exploration. New space agencies came into existence, and the existing ones started becoming stronger. Millions and millions of dollars were pumped towards it. The rocket launching capabilities increased, and many countries joined the race. Everyone with the aim, let's go up there. These launch missions were carried to place satellites in orbit to conduct research on ground about the Earth and other planets. It's used for weather forecasting, climate and environment monitoring, navigation, surveillance, and many more studies. Since Sputnik, there are more than 11,000 satellites placed in the orbit, and the number is ever increasing. More than 7,000 of them are still in working condition, and out of them, more than 50% are American. There are real mega projects underway, like Starlink, wherein more than 1,500 satellites are already placed in the low Earth orbit, and thousands of more satellites are planned to create a net of Starlink series satellites.
But there's a downside to that closer proximity to Earth. It means way more satellites floating around. Starlink's constellation of satellites will likely have to grow into the tens of thousands.
These satellites, which go up, have specific lifespan. Once the lifespan is over, or if any link is disconnected, they turn into junk or debris. Talking of link disconnection, a satellite called Intelsat 29E, manufactured by Boeing, was launched in the year 2016 with the planned mission of 15 years. 3 years later, in April 2019, the propulsion system of satellite developed a fuel leak, possibly due to a debris hit. On 18th of April 2019, Intelsat issued a statement declaring satellite's total loss. With no connection on ground, the Intelsat 29E was tumbling and drifting towards east. The cost was estimated to be more than $400 million. The Interagency Space Debris Mitigation Coordination Committee IADC defines space debris as all man-made objects, including fragments and elements thereof, in Earth orbit or re-entering the atmosphere that are non-functional. It takes 40 years for the debris to vacate the orbit as they recede back slowly to Earth's atmosphere and mostly burn out at the time of re-entry. The debris in the orbit increase in numbers due to various reasons. Let's have a look at some of these reasons. The Chinese, in order to conduct ASAT test on 11th of January 2007, used their anti-satellite ballistic missile and hit their non-working satellite Fengyun 1C.
China last Thursday succeeded in shooting down one of its own aging weather satellites with a medium-range ballistic missile fired from the ground.
The test, done with kinetic kill vehicle at 865 kilometers away from Earth, was successful, but broke the 750 kilogram satellite into more than 3,000 pieces. None of the countries have used their ASAT technique for warfare, but the US, Russia, China and India have conducted ASAT tests. India had recently done it in the year 2019, dubbed as Mission Shakti.
The Prime Minister announced that India had entered a very elite group of nations after successfully conducting an anti-satellite missile test.
India hit its working satellite in Earth's low orbit. Since the hit impact was just 283 kilometers far from Earth, it created less debris addition in the orbit, and most of the debris by now have already burnt down by entering into Earth's atmosphere. In yet another example, on 10th of February 2009, an old Russian military communications satellite collided with American working communications satellite, and the collision resulted in more than 2,000 pieces of space junk floating in the orbit. In a unique incident, an astronaut also left his glove in the orbit. These objects travel at mind-boggling speed of 17,500 miles an hour. That's 10 times of the speed of a gun bullet. This also means even a small object with the speed can cause big damage, as depicted in this image. Even a 1.2 centimeter small metal piece traveling at that speed can damage 18 centimeter thick metal plate. The danger of these many objects at so high speed is such that the International Space Station also tracks the debris movement and changes its trajectory from time to time in order to avoid the possible damage from these debris hits. The safety of ISS is important as research activities are continuous in it, and there are astronauts on board for long periods. In 2013, a Canadian astronaut noticed a hole in an extended solar panel, which was a result of debris hit. Recently on May 2021, a robotic arm got hit by a debris as shown in the picture. Although the hole was small and repairable, this gives us some heads up about what's going on up there. The American agency Space Surveillance Network detects, tracks, and catalogs 28,000 plus objects in the space, including satellites with the help of radars. This helps mitigating the risks related to potential danger that these big and small debris can create. According to a statistical model, there are more than 34,000 objects bigger than 10 centimeters, 900,000 objects of the size of 1 centimeter to 10 centimeters, and 128 million of small debris pieces from 1 millimeter to 1 centimeter. There are not much substantial work that has taken place on the front of removing debris from the orbit. Some solutions suggested or worked upon are the following: snagging and moving junk, pushing debris out of space, using electricity power, using electrodynamic tethers, space debris slingshot, solar sail, knock junk out with the net. Although the new satellites are powered to manage the re entry into Earth's orbit upon completion of their mission, it is imperative to take care of clearing up the existing old debris. It is technically possible to execute the job of bringing debris out of the orbit, but it is extremely expensive. It remains to be seen how the countries show their seriousness towards this job. It should not become the blame game as it is seen on Earth's environmental cleanup front. Wherever more and more human footprints have gone in the name of development, the side effects are always created. More developmental activities have led to more side effects. And wherever the human footprint is less or zero, the planet Earth is smiling through its lovely landscape. Friends, space is unlimited, but at this moment, whether adding a dense network of satellites all across the Earth's lower orbit is a wise move, only time will judge.